right. Communications is happy. All right, let's get started, everybody. I know we have limited time, and I appreciate you all being here today. Good afternoon. It's great to be with you all. It's great to be in San Diego, and particularly in Mission Beach. It's always good to be out here. I'm sorry I'm in a suit. That's the lot in life when you're the mayor. I'm joined by a large number of San Diegans, as you see, and I want to point out among them is City Council member Dr. Jennifer Campbell, who's the representative for District 2. City Council member Raul Campillo, who's a member of the Council's Public Safety and Livable Neighborhoods Committee. We also have Assistant Police Chief Chris Mcgrath, San Diego Fire Rescue Chief Colin Stoll, Lifeguard Chief James Garland. Where's Lifeguard Chief? I didn't say hi to him yet. There you are. Very good. Make sure I feel safer already, Chief. Thank you. As well as a number of community leaders, neighborhood residents, business owners, and public safety stakeholders from around the San Diego region. So we're
It's the economy.
Corker likes it because that's people who just spent a lot of money in San Diego and now they're flying back wherever they came from. And you all love it because I'm going to use that money to pave some potholes, get some homeless people housed, right? We like that. Okay. All right, that little bit of a pause. All right. So during the last year, here at Belmont Park, we have seen an increase in violence, including a pair of shootings in just the last month. This area is a destination that provides critical beach access, entertainment, recreation, and dining opportunities. And no one should have to think twice before coming here with their family. No one who lives here should have to think twice about being safe in their own community. All of us should feel safe no matter where we live, anywhere in the city of San Diego. Now, to support that idea, I have proposed my Ready to Rebuild budget, which demonstrates what we can do when we invest deeply into public safety. And I'd like to tell you some more about it. From our police officers to our firefighters to our lifeguards, my proposed budget not only invests in the stations where they are based and the equipment they need, but also in these first responders themselves. In the face of rising crime and increased calls for service, my proposed budget fully funds our San Diego Police Department with $584 million. This proposed operating budget is $13.8 million more than it was last year. And because I know there's some bean counters in the audience, I want to clarify this comparison leaves out pension costs, which have actually decreased thanks to improved market conditions. Part of this increase in the budget for the San Diego Police Department is an addition of $5.5 million in overtime in the department, resulting in a total of $36 million for overtime to ensure that we have the necessary patrol coverage in neighborhoods across the city. We're also making a concerted effort to address San Diego Police Department's chronic understaffing. Right now, staffing at the department is higher than it's been in 8 of the last 9 years. That said, we still have over 200 vacancies in SDPD, which of course impacts services. We can't do this all through overtime. Our men and women work extremely hard. We want them to get home and be with their families. So that's why I'm fully committed to full staffing for this department so that we can quickly respond to calls and to maintain the calming presence we need in places like Belmont Park, Gaslamp Quarter, and other neighborhoods where gang violence and gun violence has increased in the last several months. As I've said before to our friends in the media, we have a number of retirements that are expected from officers who have entered the Deferred Retirement Option Program, also known as DROP, which requires these officers to leave city service and start drawing their pensions within 5 years of entering this program. That's why this budget calls for enhancements to our efforts to recruit officers to the San Diego Police Department, as well as to retain current officers. We are funding our police academies, and I'm working with Police Chief David Nislight to bring forward lateral incentives to attract experienced officers from other agencies and hiring bonuses to attract new individuals to join this profession and to serve our city. In addition to these investments in our police department, this budget also invests in preventing crime before it occurs. This budget continues to invest in the No Shots Fired program, a comprehensive outreach and wraparound services effort that seeks to reduce gang violence in communities in our city. We're also increasing funding for programs and services that improve neighborhoods, such as our graffiti abatement program, our encampment cleanup programs, as well as adding staff to take care of abandoned vehicles far more quickly than we currently do. So I think that's a lot of good information. I'll put the call out right now. If you want to work in a job that makes a difference in the city, and if you want to have an incredible career, come work for the best police department in the country. Come work for the San Diego Police Department. Give it. All right, got some fans in the audience. That's good. I'm a fan too. Now, of course, public safety is more than our police department. We also have incredible lifeguards and firefighters who do a lot to keep us all safe, and I want to talk a little bit more about them as well. This year, we're adding 2 Marine Safety Lieutenants to our fire rescue departments to enhance our 24-hour response and emergency management operations in the coastal zone, neighborhoods just like Mission Beach. We're also funding the environmental work that is necessary to finally build 2 desperately needed fire stations in Fairmont Avenue and in Skyline Hills. We'll be replacing the Lifeguard Division's 40-year-old boating safety unit locker room, which has seen better days, and which is currently used 365 days a year and is well beyond its useful service life, as well as one of our lifeguard towers, which has also seen better days. Like our police department, we are making every effort to ensure that our fire rescue department is fully staffed, which also includes filling positions that are going to be vacant soon due to retirement. We're going to be packing our academies, and I'm optimistic now that our firefighters and our lifeguards will once again be eligible to receive pensions like their counterparts throughout the state, that we will attract quality individuals who want to serve a full career here at the City of San Diego as firefighters or as lifeguards. And I tell you that I appreciate y'all being here because this could be a part of a recruitment ad. Again, if you want to have a fulfilling career and an important kind of job that where you know you're going to make a difference every single day, I want you to come work for the San Diego Fire Department, Fire Rescue Department, come be a firefighter, come be a lifeguard. It's a great job. All of our first responders are currently at the negotiating table. We're sitting down right now with all the unions, our Firefighters Local 145, Teamsters 911, who represents our lifeguards, and our Police Officers Association. We're negotiating over pay and benefits, and we are anticipating pay increases in this budget, so we've already set aside the dollars for that. Of course, we're going to complete our meet and confer process because that's what's necessary under the law. But I'm confident that we can reach a conclusion that will make sure that these first responders get the kinds of pay and benefits that they deserve, pay and benefits that keep them here for the long haul. So, folks, it's my hope that this proposed budget sends a clear message to the public and to our first responders, that you can count on your mayor and your city council to support public safety and to keep you safe. As I said in my State of the City address, we will continue to make sure that San Diego remains one of the safest big cities in the country. And I look forward to our council's thoughtful review and dialogue and feedback on my budget proposal. And I encourage members of the public to make their voices heard as a part of this process. With that said, it gives me pleasure to turn the podium over to my friend and a strong advocate for public safety throughout the city, a member of our Public Safety and Livable Neighborhoods Committee, Councilmember Raul Campillo. Councilmember? Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor, for those strong words, and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Raul Campillo, and I represent District 7. District 7 spans from the 5 freeway west of Linda Vista to the 125 freeway east of San Carlos. We have countless canyons and open spaces that are fire hazards, and we have an enormous flood zone through Mission Valley, and because of those canyons and the rivers, there's an inherent infrastructure disconnect of multiple communities. So when there are emergencies in my district, by nature of the geography and infrastructure, it oftentimes takes the longest distance and time for first responders to arrive. And the firefighters and officers and lifeguards who protect my constituents often get pulled to other areas as well. So when I hear people talk about slow response times, I know it could be the difference between life and death of my neighbors. And that's why I care about this issue so much. My constituents are vulnerable, and Mayor Gloria has been a great partner to address public safety issues. I also want to thank 3 other great partners in that: Police Chief David Nislight, Fire Chief Colin Stowell, Lifeguard Chief James Gartland for their hard work to support my constituents. I've had the opportunity to do ride-alongs with many of these first responders, including 4 nighttime ride-alongs with the Eastern Division of the San Diego Police Department, 2 24-hour shifts with San Diego Firefighters, and a full day with the San Diego Lifeguards. And here's what I've learned. These men and women who don't bat an eye at the dangers they face put their lives on the line and do more and more with less and less. And our failure to hire and retain police and firefighters and lifeguards means that those who remain at the city as employees are often asked to triage which lives are saved first. My constituents are angry about that, and I am angry about that. Let me first focus on police. We can't hide the fact, and we must not close our eyes to the fact that crime has risen from 2019 to 2022. And our duty as elected officials is to prioritize the safety of our residents of San Diego. It's the fundamental responsibility of government. Now, crime isn't at the same high of metrics as they were in 2012 and 2013, but very sadly, we see an increasing in the most egregious types of crimes: murders and sexual and aggravated assaults and gun violence. These are crimes that require more work to investigate and solve and bring perpetrators to justice, and this strains our overall system and reduces our ability to address problems quickly. Again, our police officers are doing more with less, and this isn't fair to the community or the city employees who are responding to it. And ultimately, it stirs fear in our community, and this fear is something that I find to be absolutely unacceptable. It makes me think of the woman and her elderly father who were held hostage in a community that I serve, Tirasana, and how they were the third or fourth home that we know about that the assailant tried to break into that night. I want to thank the Eastern Division officers and other police officers who brought that person to justice that night. The shots were fired, but no one was shot, and luckily the hostages in the house were taken out of there safely as well. It's a serious issue, and I know that that particular instance is going to haunt that family and those neighbors on that street and that community for years to come. It's something that I'm so happy that San Diego Police Department addressed so quickly that night, as fast as they possibly could, and I know they'll tell you they wish they could respond to it even more quickly. Now let me turn to our firefighters and our lifeguards. I've done multiple 24-hour shifts with our firefighters who are often heading into life-threatening situations on minimal sleep, having worked 24, 48, 72, and even sometimes 96 hours straight because understaffing leads to mandatory shifts. And I've seen lifeguards who are constantly injured. They have broken toes, broken fingers, busted knees, scraped legs, even broken backs sometimes after they save lives, diving into the rocks to save swimmers from emergencies. And are they complaining about it? No. They show up every single day and say, I'm going to keep doing it because people depend on me. Police, fire, and lifeguards are doing more with less. Well, we're done with doing more and expecting less and less, expecting more of our workers for less. Now, I don't expect the public to read every single detail of the budget, but I want people at home watching to know this. In this proposed budget, Mayor Gloria and the council aren't asking our first responders to do more with less. We are working as elected officials to live up to what you expect out of us. At the council's urging, and the city employees union urging, and from his own experience being a council member and assembly member, Mayor Gloria isn't taking small steps, he's taking enormous steps forward to stop the fear in our city and ensure our collective safety. Last year's budget set the stage as we waited for revenues to return to normal levels after COVID, and with a significant rebounding in revenues this year, there is significant improvement with renewed emphasis on supporting police and firefighters and lifeguards. The budget has far more in terms of resources and improved staffing, including middle management, which is super necessary to make sure that our youngest city employees get trained and can rise up in the ranks. The budget has those promises. And as the current labor negotiations with police and fire and lifeguards are ongoing, I fully expect that we're going to continue to see competitive and rising wages for our first responders because they deserve it. I truly believe we're going to see excellent applicants apply because of this, and current employees staying because they see the seriousness with which our mayor and our city council, our elected leaders, are taking this issue on with. Mayor Gloria takes this seriously, I take this seriously, and I look forward to working with him to make San Diego safer for all, because that's what people deserve. They don't deserve to be afraid. They deserve a strong budget, and that's what we're going to give them. And someone who agrees with me completely on this is the great representative from District 2, Dr. Jennifer Campbell. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Good afternoon. We want all of San Diego's neighborhoods to be safe for our families, our businesses, and our tourists. Everyone loves the beach, especially Mission Beach. We get thousands of visitors to our beaches every single day. And we want everyone who comes to our beaches to have a good time. But even more importantly, we want them to feel and to be safe. Crime is up in Mission Beach, and it isn't just bringing glass or alcohol to the beach, riding scooters or e-bikes on the boardwalk, none of which is legal. But now it is even worse because violent crimes have come to Mission Beach. We must put a stop to all crime on our beaches, indeed, throughout our city. We have been the safest city, the safest big city in America for a long time, and we don't want to lose that title. and therefore I welcome extra policing of our Mission Beach area and extra beach patrols as much as possible by our San Diego Police Department. The people of the beach communities respect our police and firemen and lifeguards, and we would like to have more of them present and visible to stop criminals. The more, the better. Our lifeguard and fire rescue help protect beachgoers just as the police do. They are essential and important. The City Council wants to be sure that police, fire, and lifeguards all have good pay and all have good benefits and the equipment and support that they need to do their jobs. And I want to thank all of our public safety teams for working with professionalism and excellence. Now that gangs and violent criminals have decided to do their evil deeds in Mission Beach, they should know that the police, fire, and lifeguards will not tolerate their behavior, and if they break the law, they will suffer severe consequences. Thank you to our public safety departments. And now I would like to introduce one of those very important safety department chiefs, Assistant Chief Mcgrath.
Good morning. I am Chris Mcgrath, the Executive Assistant Chief for the San Diego Police Department. Chief Neslight unfortunately couldn't be here today. He's in Washington, D.C. with other leaders of police departments from around the country, where he's attending meetings with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and other agencies to hopefully obtain funding and training resources to combat the increasing gun violence in our city. It is no secret that crime has been on the rise in San Diego, much like other cities around the county. I want to thank Mayor Gloria and the Council for recognizing this serious problem that's facing our city and for their commitment to fully fund the Police Department's budget. This fiscal budget will include funding for full academy classes, which equates to 200 new officers. As all of you know, our backgrounds and recruiting units have been aggressively working to hire these officers. You might have seen their efforts during the Women's Hiring Expo and the recent Pave the Way Career Expo. We are also very proud to say that in the last several years, our academy classes have been some of the most culturally, racially, and gender diverse in our department's history. Money allocated towards these efforts will go a long way to help us, as we currently have over 200 police officer openings in our department that we critically need to fill immediately. We are always looking forward to service-minded individuals to join our team, and this funding makes hiring more new officers possible. Our recruiting unit has also been working with the Mayor's office to come up with new programs and incentives that would help San Diego PD in these efforts, and there's more to come on that very soon. This budget will also allocate additional money for much-needed pay raises, which are currently being negotiated between the Police Officers Association and our city leaders. Our goal is to make San Diego PD's salaries competitive with other departments in the region and to retain those officers who already faithfully serve our communities every day and at any hour. And finally, this budget provides additional funding for overtime to help maintain patrol staffing around the city to help address the rise in violence. It is our commitment to the citizens of San Diego that we keep our neighborhoods safe. We will always work towards that goal every day with the help of the hardworking, dedicated men and women of the San Diego Police Department through outreach, education, enforcement, and prevention. We are pleased that this new budget will help us accomplish our goal of continuing to make San Diego America's safest city. Thank you to the Mayor. Thank you to our Council.
Thank you, Chris. And I just want to provide opportunity, Fire Chief, if you want to make any quick comments, sir. He's a man of few words, but they're usually very powerful.
I am. Very few words, because I know a lot's been said about this budget. But I would like to thank the mayor for his proposed budget and our hopeful support from full city council on the proposed budget. It really invests in public safety in three areas. first and foremost in our staffing and some critical needs for positions throughout our department in our recruitment office that is well understaffed. That's going to help our ability to reach out to the communities in the outreach and recruit future firefighters. In community paramedicine on the EMS side, the alternative delivery models that we're looking at need additional personnel. And then, of course, in the mid-management level in the lifeguard division, we're seeing some additions to the lifeguard lieutenants that the mayor that mentioned, and which is so critical for our 24-hour coverage on the beaches and the bays. The other one that we've seen a lot of focus from the mayor is our critical infrastructure. Our capital improvement projects, you're seeing a lot of investment in new fire stations, in repair of deteriorating fire stations out there, in equipment that's needed that has just not received the fiscal attention that is needed. And so we very much want to thank the mayor for including that in the proposed budget. And lastly, the services that we provide to our members. We are seeing an investment into our wellness services and our behavioral health services for our members that are certainly under extreme stress.
Sir, quick question. Why do you sell alcohol? And then you make...
Sorry for the interruption. But we certainly see the stress our members are under on a regular basis, and so the investment into the behavioral health of our members to maintain their resilience, their sustainability, all of that. So again, thank you, Mayor Gloria, for your investment, for your proposed budget here, and we look forward to the support from full City Council. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you to all of our speakers. I want to just wrap up, and we're happy to do one-on-ones and take questions from folks. But I want to conclude by just, you see a lot of San Diegans here that support public safety. And I think that message sometimes gets confused. But I go all over this city, hit every council district every week, and speak with San Diegans one-on-one. San Diegans support our police department, our firefighters, and our lifeguards. And so I'd ask you all, can you give it up for our public safety professionals who are here? Because we appreciate you. We thank you for what you do. I want to conclude by this. You know, a couple weeks ago, some of these good folks were in my office, and we were talking about some of the shootings that have happened here in Belmont Park. And we're going to have some more to say about that in the next couple of weeks as we're working on some longer-term solutions for this area. But I'll tell you that stuff like that, I can't stand. Those folks have to be found and be held accountable. And the way today is we're fully funding our police department, our fire department, and our lifeguards. Number two is you have to provide the staffing. We haven't always done well at that. But whether it's the increases that we're trying to propose at the bargaining table, to the academies to fill these things up, and I appreciate what Chief Mcgrath has mentioned when going to the academies, whether it's police or fire, what I'm seeing are high-quality individuals, true public servants who want to get in this game of helping the city out. I'm really impressed by the caliber of individuals who are volunteering to come work for the city of San Diego. It gives me a lot of hope that our staffing will be there, our positions will be there. And the last part is the tools. And whether that is the privacy ordinance that I'll be bringing before the City Council shortly that will allow us to access some of the technologies that we need to make sure that they can do their jobs more swiftly, or to the facilities that we're talking about, that lifeguard station, these fire stations, some of our police facilities. The budget, the positions, the tools, that's how we keep San Diego safe. And it starts with this budget. And so I'm pleased to work with our members of our City Council, including Councilmember Campillo and Councilmember Campbell, to make sure that we pass this budget so that we can fill those positions and that we can get the technologies and the tools to keep San Diego safe. The bottom line is this: you should feel safe in your community. You should feel safe in your city. We have incredible public safety professionals that do that job extremely well. And now is the time to make sure we continue to give them the tools, the positions, and the budget to get it done. I believe that we can do that. I thank you for being here this afternoon, for helping us get this word out. I look forward to sending the council members back to the committee hearing or the budget review meetings so that we can actually ratify this budget in a couple of weeks, and then we can set about the business of making sure that San Diego remains one of the safest big cities in the country. Again, thank you for being here this afternoon. We're happy to talk with folks individually one-on-one. Thank you all very much.